Drum roll, please. The moment is finally here. Welcome to another Read Aloud with Miss Disney. I am your lovely host, Miss Disney, and we are going to be reading Melissa de la Cruz, Beyond the Isle of the Lost, Wonderland. Oh, I've been waiting to read this. Well, I've already read this, but I can't wait to share this story with you guys. And guess what? I'm going to be truthful. I did bought the Amazon one, which had the black cover and everything. But when I found out that Barnes & Noble had an edition to where there was an extra chapter in there, or like a little extra thing in there, I was like, so I ended up getting it, and now I love it. Oh my God, I can't wait to share this for you. We're going to go ahead and get started so we can... Whew. I can't contain my excitement. Okay, I got this. Okay. Chapter 1, Scene Red. The sun was bright and dazzling in the sky, and the Queen's castle towered grand and beautiful with its neat, symmetrical turrets. Bathed in its signature reddish glow, the castle grounds sparkled like rubies and rustled with the excitement of everyone at the garden party. Not a scene like that, Red imagined, was the exact opposite of the dismal soiree that was unfolding before her. By the way, chapter 1, it says Scene Red. I don't know if I said that. She crossed her studded boots at the ankle, slouching in one of the little wrought iron chairs in the corner of the garden, twirling a finger around her wavy hair, which was, as you might have guessed, red. Red was wearing her signature red and black leather jacket and matching red and black striped leather pants. Black fingerless gloves and a fishnet tank top completed the look. After all, she wasn't the daughter of the Queen of Hearts for nothing. Yes, that Queen of Heart, the red-gloved, scarlet-wearing, beautifully scary off-with-her-head queen, whose ball gowns often resembled blood-red roses. Where was the Queen? Red's mother always made a particular show of enjoying today's type of gathering, but she wasn't anywhere near the event, and this just wasn't Red's cup of tea. The event wasn't really supposed to be anyone's cup of tea, so to speak, for it was not a party they were having in the garden, but an unparty. What is an unparty, you ask? Well, it's simply a party where nobody does anything party-like. There should be gifts, such as the immaculately wrapped packages and glittering bows stacked high on the wrought iron table, but no one opens them. Red hardly bothered to look at the presents, knowing they would only be thrown away at the event's end. There should be refreshments, and Red had the conceit that the castle chefs had delivered, heaping tables high with frosted tarts, chess pies, a cake with 5 tiers, and a veritable champagne tower of delicate glasses that sparkled with summer punch. But no one ate. In fact, some whispered that the food was poison, so it was never touched at all. Scoops of ice cream melted softly into their delicate china bowls. What garden party would be complete without games for guests to enjoy? But games for an unparty included standing in place for as long as you could and sleeping until someone woke you up rudely. You know, all the crowd favorites. And in a very fitting fashion for this very unparty-like party, Red was the guest of highest honor and therefore having the least amount of fun. She sat at one end of the table, pretending to participate in a game of stacked teacups on top of each other. But in reality, she was playing see how long you can stand the unparty while people watching out of the corner of her eye. Red's fellow partygoers were all residents of Wonderland, royal subjects with neat, orderly schedules and futures in the same reliable line of work. Soldier cards in the Queen's army or nobility in her court. They were gathered to celebrate their unbirthdays, for none of them had a real one. Birthdays were illegal, after all, so the Queen had decreed. Everyone gathered wore shades of red that were so washed out they were almost gray. The partygoers weren't like those other children Red had heard of in far-off lands like Oregon, who grew up singing and laughing and running around willy-nilly like little white rabbits. Here, childhood meant regimented days and nights, being quiet at mealtimes, and only playing between the hours of 2 and 4 p.m. Solitaire was the pastime of choice. But they had gotten used to it, Red supposed, smirking. She had to. Red had been raised like them, though she would not become a soldier card like they would. Red's birthright was to rule next to her mother. Her future and her destiny seemed to be locked up. And now, with the approaching ceremony her mother had arranged, it felt like her royal responsibilities had kicked into overdrive. She knew what was expected of her, but that wasn't what she wanted for herself. What she wanted was to be a little naughty, to have a little bit of fun. And so she'd been sneaking out at night, taking things she wasn't supposed to touch, all to defy her mother and, if she was being super honest, to get her attention. Red shifted in her chair, setting one teacup on top of another for the umpteenth time. She caught the eye of a boy in a gray top who'd been holding the same pose with a hedgehog in his hand for nearly an hour. He looked annoyed that she was not sitting more still. But Red couldn't help it. The unparty was as dull as she expected, and every time she thought of ruling the kingdom, she grew restless. Unlimited power, uncontested rule, these were things everyone wanted, at least according to the Queen of Hearts. But were they what Red wanted? She wasn't sure. Sometimes she tried to picture herself as her mother, throwing dishes at the wall every time she got angry and outlawing whatever odd thing she felt like on a given day. She never much liked the thought. A stiff breeze blew one of the presents from the very top of the pile and sent it splashing into the nearby koi pond. "Good heavens!" cried a girl in a burgundy polka dot jumper, regaining her composure before continuing her game of moving a chair to one side of the pond and then back again. Another girl clicked her tongue and resumed counting blades of grass. Red rolled her eyes. Then a much louder sound sent ripples through the garden, the blasting of incoming trumpets. All at once, the teenagers' eyes grew wide with nervousness, and they halted their games, shifting from one foot to another. For when the Queen came to call, you paid attention. Red wasn't always completely thrilled by her mother's interruptions, but the unparty was every bit as dull as it was designed to be, so she was grateful for a change of pace. She stood with the others, tossing her teacup aside and turning toward the entrance of the opening in the hedge as the Queen of Hearts made her appearance.